we will hear from Ben Capelle, CEO of Laketran. Thank you for coming before the committee.
Chair Kunze, Vice Chair Reinke, sorry if I am bad with names, I apologize. Ranking Member Antonio, Senators, thank you for having me today. My name is Ben Capelle. I am the CEO of Laketran. Laketran is a transit system in suburban Northeast Ohio. We're very unique because we're in the burbs. There's not a lot of transit systems that operate exclusively in the suburbs. Why that's unique and interesting is we have a lot of, sort of spread out population, and a lot of what we do is not, when you think of a traditional bus, it's not a traditional bus. It's a small bus, goes anywhere in Lake County, and most of what we do is transport seniors and people with disabilities. Take them to doctor's appointments. We take a ton of people with disabilities to work. And so, a lot of people, when they think of bus, they think of the big bus that stops at bus stops on the street. But in Ohio, especially in rural communities, in the suburbs like where I'm at, that's not what's going on. It's there, but it's not the primary thing that people think about. And the thing about the small bus is it has a lot of personal stories that come with it. I have one myself, which is, unusual. So I'm 38. I'm in pretty good health. I don't have a beach body, but I fell off a ladder and broke my leg in 2019, which was, a lot of fun. And I live by myself, and so when that happened, I became a prisoner of my home. Luckily, I live in my own service area, so I was able to take one of our small buses to get to work every day. And that's not something that even I thought to myself, I'm going to need this service, at my age. I was building a garage, which is kind of the irony. The transit guy building a garage hurt himself. But that allowed me to continue to go to work and conduct my life like I wanted to. So that's one of the ways that a lot of people don't think about how transit impacts their lives. The senator asked about what's the right number for public transportation in Ohio. We would say, today we're here to encourage you to keep the number at 70 million, but 150 is a great number. It's where we would like to be. But the other piece that's really important to think about when you think about transit funding is making it stable for us. So when you buy a bus, you don't go down to a car dealership and grab one in an afternoon. You order it and you wait 18 months. And so no matter how quickly we want to react and do things, it takes a long time. And it's not because we're government and we don't work quickly, but all of our projects are measured in years. And so one of the essential components for us is to have money we know we can rely on so that we can establish those systems and services that people need. One of the things that we did, in part with the money we got from the state last time, was start a new bus route. That was incredibly important for us because in the suburbs we have a lot of sort of spread out manufacturing. Northeast Ohio has a ton of manufacturing. We are contacted every day by our local manufacturers, which are small companies. They're between 5 and 200 employees. We make a lot of airplane parts in Northeast Ohio. These are high-skilled jobs with people that are, difficult to retain. And it's even harder to recruit new people. And they tell me all the time, manufacturers from 5 employers to 200, that they need a bus to get their starting level employees to work. And without that, people have told me, we're going to have to leave this community and go somewhere else where I can get employees to work. And so one of the things we did is connect 35,000 people with 7,000 jobs along one of our corridors that has a lot of manufacturing. And, those are the little details about public transit that are really, really important to think about and not forget when you think about, moving hundreds of people to a downtown area. That's incredibly important also. The roads can't handle all the people that need to get there. But there's a lot of dimensions to what we do in Ohio that include smaller areas, smaller communities, smaller amounts of service, but just as critical to those areas as, a larger bus is to a larger area. So I know you have a copy of my testimony. I kind of went off script. But I really appreciate you allowing us to come today, and I just want to impress upon you how important it is to keep that number at 70 million because that continues the stability of that funding, which is really critical to us being able to use it effectively. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there questions from the committee? Senator Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You mentioned consistent and base funding for transit. Do you have any examples of how you would fund transit in this state consistently?
Chair, Senator, there's a lot of options. I've talked with, our former senator who's no longer around, Senator Eklund, about, some kind of fee associated with tires, or we have a couple other options that we've discussed. We'd be happy to have some more in-depth discussions about what we think the right item is based on the opinion of the committee. But really what's important is to sort of identify a source that we can stick with long term. Because, when you think about 2 years of funding, if it takes me 18 months to buy a bus, and part of my plan is to run new service, I've only got 6 months to get that up and running and really, show you results. And so that's one of the challenges if the funding continues to kind of go like this, is I can't predict what I'm going to do with it in the future. And that makes it harder to do as good of a job as I can with the money.
Any further questions from the committee? I would just add, just another anecdotal, my husband broke his leg a few years ago, and it was very difficult even just to get him in and out. So I appreciate you sharing that story of living alone, because I'm grateful you lived within your service district, because it definitely provides a challenge where you don't think that you would have one as young. And
It is amazing. Your life changes, like this. And when you used to be able to drive to the grocery store and, do whatever you needed, you're instantly, unexpectedly unable to do anything.
Yeah,
and,
you're trapped.
You firsthand experience how difficult that can be.
Well, thank you for your testimony.
No problem. Thank you for having me.